Mountain Pass, Northern Spawn, Heavy Tank. What options do we have? Spawning on Mountain Pass in the north with a Heavy Tank, you have several options. The first one and the most obvious one is to proceed to the heavy flank, and most Heavy Tank players proceed down here. Now the problem is that not only are you susceptible to crossfire from the middle once your team has lost the middle, but there's also not the option of playing hull down right here, at least yeah, not too much. The biggest or the best opportunity to play, or the best possibility I should say, to play hull down is right here. However, this is a very defensive position, and once again, usually tanks are instantaneously proceeding towards this position. This is why I basically do not like to play in the north if I spawn in a heavy tank. Now, some players play over aggressively if they are playing in a fast heavy tank, like for example the IS-7 or the Object 277, and proceed over the bridge to this position because they want to open up a crossfire situation to this position. However, the problem is they will lose a substantial amount of HP because they're fighting frontally against those tanks right here. Plus, if those tanks fall back just a little bit, then this position becomes useless and you are basically only losing time without supporting your team somewhere else on the map. Now, what I like to do is, in general, and especially with the hull down tank, I like to proceed to the western flank because in my opinion, it makes more sense from the northern spawn to win this portion of the map than it makes from the southern spawn. The southern team will most likely lose HP once they are crossing here, at least more than you are crossing here, because the northern team does have an advantage. And this is a super strong hull down position from which you can basically dominate all the enemy tanks which are playing in this portion. And so if you win this portion, then you can proceed basically to this position. You can fall into the rear of those tanks and then proceed to the enemy base and try to win the game. So in general, I do not like to go to the standard heavy lane, which is on the left hand side, seen from the northern spawn, but I like to go to the right hand side, and which is the one lane. Why so? Well, due to the reasons that I just mentioned. In my opinion, the strongest position on the typical heavy lane is a very defensive position at the, let's say, A5, A6 position, or maybe B6 position, but certainly not down at the C7 position, where you usually go because you do not want to play too defensively on this flank. And so, in my opinion, I usually tend to go to the western flank with the heavy tank because I can push forward more aggressively, and that is what I want to do, especially if I'm playing in a hull down strong tank like the IS-22 in this case. So as I'm high tier, sorry, in this scenario, there's no question whether I want to push aggressively or not. I certainly want to do this and want to support the M103 against the AE phase 1, which has already lost a substantial amount of HP due to the fact that he is in a disadvantage if he crosses to this position. Okay, so let's see how it goes. Maybe if he falls out, let's tell the M103 to fall back, because he can actually bait a shot. Okay, our team is advancing. Okay, so you know what? I think I should also advance to this position. Okay, here goes. So there is. Okay. Yep, I'm spotted, which is not too much of a problem. And now I've reached this position from where I can perfectly play hull down. And once again, the IS-32 is a perfect hull down tank. Here you go, nice. And you know what? If I can take out a tank, here you go. Then okay, now I made my 2 shots. Maybe not the best decision, but I wanted to get 2 shots before those tanks had fallen back into cover. Our team is pushing aggressively here. That is understandable because this position is super strong. And the only thing we do not want to do is we do not want to throw away our HP. We could take out this one tank. Here go. Nice. So far so good. 1500 damage. 2.5 minutes into the game, which is excellent. And yeah, so as you can see, the object 7772 of the enemy team is pushing aggressively. However, our team is positioned in a very strong hull down position, and so chances are that the 50 TP and the Rheinmetall Borsig Waffenträger are actually able of holding this flank. Meanwhile, in the middle, there's the adversary E75 pushing, but he should also be in a crossfire situation against 2 tanks, and so I think our team is in a perfect setup to win this battle. So let's see. I think now it is time to play more aggressively and to push to the left-hand side now. Okay, so here you go. Yeah, 6-3. So let's see. Can we take out this tank? Yes, nice. 2,700 damage. Excellent. And now here you go. Maybe one more shot. Bam. Okay, this was very unfortunate, but that's how it goes. You cannot hit every shot. And you know what? Okay. Sure, we can take this tank out. Excellent. And yeah. So, in my opinion, it makes much more sense to proceed on the one lane from the northern spawn than compared to the southern spawn. And so I really like to do this when I spawn in the north. And as you can see, the enemy forces really have a hard time pushing the northern flank. Now they've taken out the Rheinmetall Borsig, and they will of course soon be able to approach the base. However, as you can see, the WZ111 is already falling back, and so even if they win the typical heavy flank, I go nice, then our team will still be able to set up a perfect defensive position in our base. And so I think it is more helpful for your team to win the western flank than it is to win the eastern flank. Here goes. So let's push aggressively into the enemy base. There's the Cobra on the hill, and now the adversary forces on the A lane are basically sandwiched by our team, because the Lansen C and the LT432 are already making pressure, which is very nice. And meanwhile, maybe we can get a shot onto the Cobra. Alright, so here you go. Okay, that was very unfortunate. Okay, bam. Okay, he's shooting HE, which is not too much of a problem. Now I lost the driver, which is okay, but we made 3,700 damage in this game. And yeah, so we will not get any more damage, but that's alright. And as you can see, winning the western flank is actually the preferred option if you ask me. Certainly if you are spawning in the north, and that is how I tend to play Mountain Pass if I spawn in a heavy tank on the northern spawn.